Hi there, this is Ranjit and I have this Asus Zenfone 2 laser with me, and in this video we'll be doing the full review. And the Zenfone 2 laser that I have is the 2GB model that comes with the Snapdragon 410 chipset, and this product is sold in India via Flipkart and it sells for rupees 9,999. That's just about 10,000 rupees. And if you're buying it from Flipkart, please use my link. It does help the channel. And in fact, I would say for the price of just around 10,000, this Asus Zenfone 2 packs in a lot of specs. I've used this device for about 10 odd days, and I have in fact also produced other videos on this device covering its various other aspects like its camera review and gaming review. Links for those videos will also be in the show notes. And in fact, I would say for the specs, if you just look at the raw specs, it does offer us a lot of options. In fact, regarding the camera, as you can see, it has that laser word. It has the laser autofocusing system, a 13 megapixel rate facing camera with the dual LED flash, and actually the volume rocker is here at the back. Hence, if you see the bezels over here and over here, we have no buttons. The power button is here at the top, which is actually at a very awkward position, but I don't mind that because Asus has these gestures. For example, if you just double tap on the screen, it goes to standby, and if you just double tap, you can wake it up. So thereby, I actually never use this power button. And regarding the physical overview, on the top we have the 3.5mm headphone jack, the power button, a secondary noise cancellation microphone. On this end, again, as I told you, nothing. We have an indent, the back can be opened, I'll show you that. On the bottom, we have the micro USB slot that will be used for charging. And again, on this end, nothing. The front-facing camera is actually a 5 megapixel shooter, and this is the earpiece, and we also have a small LED notification light over here when you charge or when you get a missed call, etc. This glows, but it's very tiny. And regarding the cellular call quality, the cellular call quality was very good. I have no complaints regarding that. And I also did test this device over 4G here in Hyderabad. We have Airtel 4G and it worked perfectly fine with 4G. Now if we move towards the screen, it has a 5.5-inch screen, which is a 720p HD screen, and in fact the screen quality is nice, I would say. If you look at the whites, if you go to the settings, the whites actually look like white, they do not look like yellow. So in terms of screen quality, it's a good quality screen, I would say, and even the viewing angles, as you can see, are good. So no problems regarding the screen. And moving towards the bottom, again we have these touch type capacitive buttons. This is the back, home, and this is for the multitasking tray, but sadly these are not backlit. So that's one minor con that I have with almost all Zenfones. Let me actually open the back cover. As I mentioned, you can open it. It's fairly tight, but it is user replaceable. Let me just try to open it without breaking my nails. You can just pry it up like this, and this opens. And it's a dual SIM device, and it also has a micro SD card slot. I did test it with two SIMs also, it worked fine, but for most of the part, I would say I did my testing with a single SIM. And regarding the battery, this battery is user replaceable now, and it's a 3000 milliamp hour battery. In fact, I would say the battery life on this device is very good. I'll talk about the battery life a bit later. Now again, regarding the design, you'll notice that it's a little bit curved here, and though it's a big device, it's having a 5.5-inch screen, and due to this curved nature, it is easy to hold, I would say. But certainly it's a two-handed device. If you text a lot, etc., you have to use two hands, because with a single hand, yes, you can do it, but it is awkward in my opinion. Now if we move to the performance of this phone was really nice. Regarding the specs, it's powered by the Snapdragon 410 chipset, which is a quad-core processor, and regarding RAM, it has 2 GB of RAM. Hence the performance was really good. And we have the Zen UI, which is the custom skin by Asus, and I would say it's a very feature-rich UI, and it handles the phone very well. As you can see, we have a lot of toggles over here. We obviously have the auto brightness sensor, but one thing I did notice is that the auto brightness sensor, if you notice, is very aggressive. When you keep it on auto brightness, the screen dulls a little bit. So for the most part, I was keeping it on manual brightness. That's one con that I have with this device. But again, it does offer a lot of options. For example, at night, if you read a lot, even if you keep it at the lowest brightness, they are generally very bright, and that can be painful. But we have this blue light filter, which actually dulls the screen. As you can see, now it has that yellowish tint. Thereby, it's easier even to use at night. So we have some useful features like this. And again, as I mentioned, the screen quality was nice. And for the most part, I would say it runs this Asus Zen UI very well. And out of the box also, we are getting the Android version. Let me show you. If you go to about, the Android version 5.0.2 out of the box. So we are getting Lollipop. So it's not the latest version, not 5.1, but we are definitely getting Android Lollipop. Also, when we talk about the storage, I'm happy to say that Asus did not skimp on the internal storage. Generally, with many of the vendors in the budget range, they just give about 8 gigabytes of internal storage. But here we get 16 gigabytes of internal storage. Now, I've used this device a lot. I have tons of games installed. But I feel that 16 gigabytes of space that you get is ample. And also, as I mentioned, we can add a micro SD card to the device. Also, as it runs its custom version of Asus Zen UI, we have Zen motions and we have the touch gestures, as I mentioned. So I haven't enabled a lot of gestures, but again, like what do you say on OnePlus devices, if you type C, etc., as you can see, now it will open the camera. We have those type of gestures. So that also works. You can actually customize it. I have disabled all of them except for the C that opens the camera, but you can definitely enable them and it works. I actually use this gesture, as I mentioned, double tap to wake and double tap to make it go to standby, because the power button has an awkward position. But the good thing is that these gestures work very well, and I would say this it handles the Zen UI very well. I had no problems regarding that, and as you can see, I have so many apps also running. I was using this device as my primary device for the last couple of days, and it handles everything really well. So Asus has done a very good job in terms of optimization. Now, if we move towards the battery life, the battery, as I told you, is a 3000 milliamp hour battery. In my regular usage, I would say I was easily able to get about at least 5.5 hours or so of battery life in my regular usage. But one day it could even go up to about 7 odd hours. So in terms of battery life, I would say the battery life is among the best that I've seen on an Android device. And with casual usage, I would say it can easily last for 2 full working days. And even if you're a sort of a heavy user, it should easily last you for a full working day. So in terms of battery life, the battery life that I was getting on this Asus Zenfone 2 laser is nothing short of incredible. In fact, I would say this Zenfone 2 laser has got me one of the best battery life among Android devices. Now, if we move to other important sensors also, here also I'm happy that Asus did not skimp, because generally other manufacturers in the budget range try to skimp on sensors. For example, as you can see, this is the Compass app, and it works really well. And notice how quickly it reacts. So that works. Also in terms of multi-touch, I did test, and it has all that 10 multi-touch points. So also in terms of important sensors, Asus hasn't skimped on them. Now, if we move towards the gaming, I did gaming with this device, and as you can see, I did play quite a few games with this, and it could handle all the casual games without any issues. I even played some heavy games like Asphalt 8, and even at high setting, it could run Asphalt 8 without any issues. But only one game that I had a little bit of problem was Nova 3. So I would say it's also good for gaming. But again, if you expect that it'll play every heavy game without lag, then you might be disappointed. But for the most part, I would say it could run most of the games fine without any issues. So for gaming also it was nice. But again, one con that I have with this device is in terms of the speaker. The speaker here at the back is just average in my opinion. It's not that loud. Let me actually show you by using a USB OTG drive, and let's try to play a video. And let me show you that. This is the USB OTG drive that I have. And you don't have to install any special apps and stuff. And another thing about this device is the screen touch sensitivity is very good. And as you can see, it auto detected, and you can just open this. It has a built-in file manager. In fact, a lot of utilities are pre-built. For example, let me play this video file, and let me maximize the volume. I must have disabled the auto rotation. Yeah, as you can see, it is playing the video file fine, and the viewing angles are also nice. But again, as you can see, the volume level is really low, and this is what I felt when I was using the phone. Even when I was watching YouTube videos, even at max volume, for example, let me show you, I always felt that the volume was low to my liking. Let me remove this USB OTG, and let me just go to my own channel. Oops. And let's try to play any of the video, for example, this Note 5 unboxing video. So here is the video that we are playing. And again, do note, I'm at max volume.
And in this video, we'll be doing the unboxing and have a first look at the Samsung Galaxy Note 5.
And in terms of resolution quality, it can go up to 720p on YouTube videos. But again, if you notice, the volume is just okay, it's not that loud. So that is the only minor con that I have with this device. Now, if we move towards the camera, the rear-facing camera is a 13 megapixel shooter with laser autofocusing system. And I would say I expected a lot with the camera, and the camera is pretty decent for the price, I would say. And when I took the pictures in outdoor conditions with ample lighting, the pictures were very sharp. And also due to the laser autofocusing system, it could also focus very quickly to close objects. So it's really good in outdoor conditions. But when we move to semi-indoor lighting conditions and in artificial lighting, the camera was sort of weak. Don't get me wrong, it's not bad, but I did expect a little bit more considering that it had the laser autofocusing system. In fact, if you are interested in the camera, do watch the separate video that I posted regarding the camera review. That has a lot more samples. But in terms of video, it can record video in up to 1080p, but I felt the 1080p video recording quality was also sort of just average. Now let me break down this device between the pros and the cons. First, let me talk about the things that I like, that are the good things about the device. The first thing is the battery life. As I mentioned earlier, the battery life was excellent. Also in terms of fluidity, it handles the device without any issues, and the Zen UI has a lot of useful features. So it works very well. Also in terms of cellular call quality, the cellular call quality was very good. Apart from the speaker, if you use the speaker is a little bit low. And I also like the fact that it has that Zen UI, and due to that we have those gestures, for example, the double tap to sleep, etc. And they work very well in my opinion. Also, as I mentioned earlier, the screen quality is really good. And also, though it's a big device having a 5.5-inch screen, due to this curved back, it's comfortable to hold. Now, if we talk about the cons and some of the things that I did not like about this device, the first is the speaker volume, as I mentioned. Also, as I mentioned, the auto brightness is really aggressive. If you keep it on auto brightness, the screen is a little bit dull to my liking. Also, there are a lot of extra apps that are pre-installed on this device, sort of a bloatware, I would say. Also, regarding charging time, as it has a 3000 milliamp hour battery, I would say from 10% to full charge, it took me slightly over 3 hours. So these are some of the minor cons with this device. But still, considering the price, I would say that is just 10,000 rupees, we are getting a lot for the device. The only biggest gripe that I have with this device is the low speaker volume and sort of, I would say, average camera performance in artificial lighting. But apart from that, still, we are getting a lot on this Zenfone 2 laser. I've also posted other videos on the Zenfone 2 laser, so make sure you check them out. And if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. This is Ranjit, and I hope to see you in my next video.